Hello and welcome, I'm Tino, and today we are going to talk about interception, why heavy fighters are better than small fighters for interception. Probably you have already read in the forums that small fighters are great for defense since they have a small range and therefore they have full efficiency in the province they are into or close to full efficiency, and on the other hand, since the medium fighters have a much bigger range, they are efficient not only in the same province but also in other provinces, and therefore they choose small fighters for defense. But defense has two aspects. One aspect is dogfights, that is the fighter versus another fighter, and the other aspect is interception. Interception is the concept of the fighter engaging the bombers. And on the first point, I mean fighter versus fighters, there is where the small fighter shines. We have seen in the previous video that despite the small fighter is twice as weak, I mean one heavy fighter can easily kill a small fighter. If you have two small fighters, they will be in the battle, and since they are so cheap, they are usually more efficient for dogfights if you have full detection. Remember that, if you have full detection, perfect conditions like Europe. But for interception, that's a complete different story, and we are going to explain that right now. To explain why the heavy fighter is better, I need to explain agility. Agility is the ability of the planes to dodge the enemy shots. When you are engaging a bomber, the bomber has so little agility that it's not a dogfight, it's just you are pointing and hitting, pointing and hitting. That means that the damage reduction from the bomber is always 0%. That means that you are going to be dealing full damage, that is your 48 points are going to be hitting the bomber. That is not the case when you are fighting against a small fighter. Since a small fighter is more agile than you, this number 48 is going to be reduced. That's why the heavy fighter is more effective against a slow moving target. On the opposite side, your agility helps you evade the enemy fire from the turrets. And since the heavy fighter and the small fighter have a much higher agility than the bomber, you already reach the agility cap. The agility cap is 90%. That means that both the heavy fighter and the small fighter are going to be taking just 10% damage from the turrets from the heavy bomber. In other words, when you are hitting a very slow moving target with zero agility, it doesn't matter if you have 60, 40, 100, 2000 agility, you are going to be reaching the cap and you have a limit for your benefits. And therefore, if you have pure raw damage like the heavy fighter, you are going to be dealing far more damage. That's the main aspects, but there are other aspects quite important. One of them is detection. Let's see this example. For example, let's say that the enemy is going to be sending just 100 planes and you have a high detection of 50%. That means that you are going to be seeing just 50 of the enemy bombers. That means that you are going to be able to send 150 fighters against the enemy. You can send 3 times what you detect from the enemy. If the enemy sends 100 bombers and you detect 50%, you are going to be seeing just 50 and you can send 3 times that number. That will be that you are going to be able to use only 150 fighters. But let's say that you have to choose between 200 heavy bombers or 400 small frames. Well, since you are going to be able to use just 150, it's better that those 150 are damage dealers, are heavy fighters, because they are going to be dealing far more damage than just 150 small fighters. You're going to be requiring quality, and heavy fighters give you quality. And there is another situation opposite. Let's say that you are overwhelmed by the enemy. The enemy is going to be sending lots and lots of planes and you need to put in the air as many fighters as you can. Well, the heavy fighter usually has almost 100% efficiency because they tend to cover the whole area. On the other hand, the small fighter, they have an efficiency much lower, and that means that, for example, if you have 100 heavy fighters with 100% efficiency, that means that 100 fighters are going to fly and scramble against the enemy. On the other hand, if you have just 200 small frames but you have a 50% efficiency, only 100 of those planes are going to be able to take off and engage and found the enemy. So you are sending 100 elite planes versus 100 poor planes, and you are better sending the heavy fighters. A small tip: you can boost the efficiency by pressing this button. You spend some command power, but you're going to send ground crews to your airburst, and that will increase your mission efficiency for all the planes there. If you lack planes, that will help you. And in the next video I would like to show you interception, comparing the small frame versus the meta heavy frame. And as always, I would like to share two designs of my own that are kind of disruptive. As always, I always go against the standard community meta in almost every sense, but you will find the results quite interesting. And if you enjoy, please leave a like, a comment. I enjoy very much your comments. It makes the channel alive. Thanks for watching. See you the next time.